Turn it around a little bit. Different. Yeah. That is very strange. Because you know it, you read it all long.
Live on Zoom.
Oh, you're live on YouTube.
I'm sorry, yes, we are live on YouTube.
Yeah.
You're up there all by yourself.
Yeah.
Here you go, the bulletin is now in the chat.
Okay, ready to rock and roll.
Had a pretty bad cold all week. I'm feeling much better now. I'm good. And I can speak, as you can hear, but yesterday I was croaking. And I'm still kind of croaking when I try and sing. So Maureen has graciously agreed to step in and sing tonight.
She's gonna lip sync.
We are going to begin our Shabbat worship this evening on page 344, page 648 in the Big Book. With Shiru Ladonai, it's the third one down, page 344, 648.
Shiru Ladonai Kol Haaretz. Shiru Ladonai Shir Chadash. Shiru Ladonai Kol Haaretz. Shiru Ladonai Shir Chadash. Sing unto God all the earth a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God and we'll all sing along. All the earth a new song unto God. Shiru Ladonai Kol Haaretz. Shiru Ladonai Shir Chadash. I will sing unto God a new song.
We're going to begin with the lighting of the Shabbat candles, which you will find on pages 2 and 3 in the Shabbat Siddur, and pages 120 and 121 in the Big Book. Who would like to light the Shabbat candles this evening? All right, come on up, Gabe.
Battery?
Batteries.
All right. Maybe that's why I couldn't. Throw this gum.
Oh,
Good.
that's a good idea.
Yeah, because we don't have any classroom desks here to stick it under.
Just a moment while we change the batteries in the microphone.
Who knew you're going to get comedy as well as there we go. All right.
There you go.
These Shabbat candles give light to all who keep them. So may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
Gotta teach everybody else how to do that.
Wow, who's tried tonight?
Nice
Awesome.
going.
Adonai, Eloheinu, melech haolam, asher kidshanu, b'mitzvotav, v'yitzvanu, l'havli b'ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Thank you, Jane. No,
Of course I have.
right. We're going to continue on page 6, page 124 in the big book. Let's read responsively in the middle of the page. May the door of the synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship.
May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture.
May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity.
Threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet.
May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness.
Synagogue be, for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life.
We continue with Lechadodi, page 20, page 138 in the big book. As always, we'll sing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And when we reach verse 9, we rise and face the rear of the sanctuary to welcome the Sabbath bride.
Lecha dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nikabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, hishmi'anu el hamiuchad. Adonai echad, ushmo echad, l'shem u'tiferet v'litila, lecha dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nikabela, lecha dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nikabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor habracha, merosh mikedem nirtzucha, sof maaseh b'makshamav techila. Lecha dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, kiva orech kumi ori, uri, shir daberi, kevod Adonai alayech nigla. Lecha dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha u'b'tzola. Tochemune am segula, boi chala, lecha dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela.
A probably now from outside of the prayer book by Joanne Fink. Eternal source of love and light, help me discover the connection to the sacred flame you have implanted within my heart. It is a light of passion. It is a light of creativity. It is the light of love. When I look through the eyes of love, I see each person I meet as a vessel of possibility, created in your image, filled with holy potential. When love fills my heart, there is no room for fear, no space for resentment, no foothold for despair. Help me see beyond faults and failings to the divine spark of holiness within every soul. Help me to look with love, to see promise instead of limitation, beauty instead of imperfection, wholeness rather than brokenness. Let love envelop me. Let love connect and consecrate me. Let love fill me and flow through me. Let love make me whole. We continue with the Chatzi Kaddish, page 26, 144 in the big book.
Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah. V'yalma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon u'vyomechon u'chayei dechol beit Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, ubizman kariv, v'yimeru amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevarach, le'olam le'ol me'ol maya, yitbarach, yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitpar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shemei dekudisha brichu, le'lam imkol birchata, v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran v'yalma, v'yimeru, amen.
We turn to page 28, 146 in the big book for our call to worship, the Baruch Hu. And as able, we remain standing through the Shema.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Va'ed.
Page 30, 148 in the big book. We read together at the bottom of the page. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God,
Ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzibaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai, Ariv Aravi.
to 150, Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Avta, Amcha Avta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta, Otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shachbenu, Kumenu natsiach bechukecha, V'nismach b'divrei Toracha, U'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki heim chayenu, ve'yorech yameinu, uvahem nege yomam v'layla, nege yomam v'layla, v'ahavatcha al tasir, mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
132, 152, sorry.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed.
Page 36, 154 in the big book, we join together for the halftime.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך, ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
And match. Page 39, 157 in the big book. We read responsively in the middle of the page. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth.
The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love.
From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way.
Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces.
Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed.
Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea.
Page 40, 158.
Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar kodesh, nora tehilot, o sefele, nora tehilot, o sefele, malchutecha, ra'u banecha, Bokei Ayam, Lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, Zeli anu v'yamiru, Adonai imloch, Adonai imloch, le'olam va'ed. V'ne'emar kifat Adonai et Yaakov, u'gialo miyad chazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai, Gal Yisrael.
Page 43, 161 in the big book. I'm sorry, 42. Page 42, 160 in the big book. Let's read together. Grant,
O God, that we lie down in peace,
and
raise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel. For your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing,
For you, God,
our great
and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful.
guard our going and coming to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom, aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim.
Page 44, 162.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, asot et ha-Shabbat, לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
We turn to page 46, 164 in the big book, as Abel re-rise for the tefillah.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agita ilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise.
48, 166.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Bekonei Hakol, Bezocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei B'neihem, Leman Shemo B'Yahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham, Bezrat Sarah, Ata Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechaye Hakol Ata Rav Lehoshia, Morid Hatal, Mechakel Chaim Bechesed, Mechaye Hakol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim, Fecholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afam, michamocha ba'al givurot, umido melach, melech memit umechaye, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman ata la'achayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye hakol. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh u'kadoshim b'chol yom yelucha sela. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh.
You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. We are seated. And we continue on page 57, 175 in the big book. In the middle of the page. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answers to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadecha b'yirah na'odot. Page 59, 177. Let's read together at the top of the page.
God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words. The awareness of soul, our light within. The world around us so filled with beauty. For the richness of the earth, which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hato shimcha l'chana lehodot.
Page 61, 179, I'm sorry, page 60, 178. Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael bechol eit ubechol shah bishlomecha. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Baruch atah Adonai, hamivarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom.
Take a few moments for private, personal reflection and prayer, using the words on the next few pages or those that flow from our hearts. When we come back together, it will be on page 62, 180 in the big book.
Ose shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen.
We continue on page 278, 570 in the big book, as we prepare to count the Omer. 278, 570. Hineni mukana mizmina l'kayem mitzvat aseh shel tfirat ha'omer. I am ready to fulfill the mitzvah of counting the Omer. Let's join together in the blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat ha'omer.
Yom Shiv'a ve'esrim yom, shehem shlosha shavuot v'shisha yamim la'omer. Today is the 27th day, making 3 weeks and 6 days of the Omer. Are there any birthdays or anniversaries we don't know about? We turn then to page 253. Page 253, 371 in the big book. As we think of our loved ones who are in need of healing of mind, body, and spirit. Misha Berach Avotenu V'Imotenu Avraham Yitzchak V'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel V'Leah Hu Yivarech Et HaCholim. Patty Baker, April Bell, Elaine Boshnak, Sarah Cohen, Bruce Dalby, Brian Dalby, Mel Dalby, Carolyn Dowling, Stuart Dowling, Stan Drezick, Jeff Duncan, Dolores Ettinger, Edna Frazier, Robin Gabe, Jackie Klieger, Rick Kramer, Mary Kraus, Kevin Langdon, Jana Lesser, Linda Manning, Dennis Martin, September McLeod, Mike McNerney, Carol Miller, James Phillips, Guilford Raymer, John Robertson, Pamela Roberto, Shimshon ben Abraham Visara, Bethany Sellers, Jennifer Simlin, Mike Stern, Katie Trujillo, Karen Usatine, Jenny Van Eyck, Mark Wasserstrom, Kay Williams, Betsy Whitaker. Are there others for whom we are praying for healing? This Shabbat will start first in the room.
Bethany Anderson and Sandy Galvan.
Thank you.
Henry Creech and Janet Gillespie.
Thank you. Anybody on Zoom? Elaine?
Jerry Grant, Ronnie Ames, and Kevin Maloney. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else on Zoom? For those whom we've named and those we name in our hearts, we continue. HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yimalei Rachamim Aleichem, L'Hachalimam U'Rachotam L'Hachazikam, V'Yishlach Lahem Mehera Refuah, Refuah Shlema Min HaShamayim, Refuat HaNefesh, Refuat HaGuf, Hashta Be'agala V'Zman Kariv, V'Nomar.
Amen.
We continue with the Misha Berach that we sing in the middle of the page.
Mishe Beirach Avotenu Mikor HaBracha Le'imotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mikor habracha Otenu, bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
One of the most profound books I read as a young adult was The Giver by author Lois Lowry. In this story, we are presented with a society that appears to be utopian, though soon the perfectness of that utopian society begins to crack at its edges. The community, as it is known, has taken away pain and strife from people's lives by imposing sameness. The sameness means that even the way people physically see the world lacks color. Despite this, the main character we follow through the narrative, a 12-year-old boy called Jonas, sees flashes of color, and it is for this reason, perhaps, that he is selected by the community to become the receiver of memory, the keeper of the memory of a time before the community, before it shut itself away and before it sacrificed color for black and white sameness. So he begins his training with the current receiver of memory, who now has become the giver of the book's title, who bequeaths to Jonas the memory of what life was like before everything was made the same. The memories that the giver imparts to Jonas are of color, of hills, of fun, but also of tragedy and pain. As Jonas's mind is expanded by these memories, so is his potential world. He becomes more and more isolated from his friends, whose world is smaller, who do not understand his broader comprehension of a world outside of their narrow and insular community. By isolating and limiting the boundaries of their community, the leaders of the community seek to limit pain, to ensure the well-being of the members of their society, to reduce the risk that they will be harmed by the potentially damaging outside world. This Shabbat, we again read a double portion. The second portion, Kiddushim, beginning with Leviticus 19, is known as the Holiness Code. The first portion, Acharei Mot, contains the ritual the Kohanim, the priests, performed on Yom Kippur, consisting of the slaughter of one goat and the sending away of a second goat, carrying the sins of the people with it. Fun fact, this is where the term scapegoat originated. We also read this verse in Acharei Mot. K'ma'aseh eretz Mitzrayim asher yashavtem ba, lo ta'asu, u'k'ma'aseh eretz Canaan asher ani mevi etchem shama, lo ta'asu, u'v'chukotehem lo tolechu. The children of Israel are told that they must not engage with the practices of the Egyptians, the culture from which they have just been liberated, or those of the Canaanites, the culture into which they are about to invade. The Israelites are to have their own laws and customs. What follows are the sexual prohibitions, specifically which members of your family and extended family you are forbidden to have sex with. It also includes the infamous prohibition of homosexual male intercourse. These were considered to be the ways of outsiders. In the language of the community in Lowry's book, this would be the people of elsewhere, which had to be resisted if Jewish culture and morality were to be preserved. The philosopher Martha Nussbaum puts this all down to the fear of the things we imagine people doing, despite the fact that it is not directly harmful to us. Fear, early and powerful, is what tends to drive our lives, and particularly our attitude towards things that are beyond our comfort zone. The sociologist Samuel Heilbronn notes that the standard among ultra-Orthodox communities is to teach these laws to children at an absurdly young age, in order, it seems, that they are too young to really take cognizance of their meaning. You don't want to teach that kind of thing to teenagers who might get tempted by the very thought of it. The justification is used by those who want to keep their culture safely locked away from the modern world, by reference to the sexual recklessness and corruption of those outside, not just the ancient Canaanites. If our progressive ancestors had resolved to, misguidedly in my opinion, hold on to the command against homosexual sex, for example, I am convinced that our progressive religion would not have survived. As we can see, flexibility is what has enabled Judaism to survive in the world. This is what the rabbis of our tradition did in a very different way when the temple in Jerusalem was destroyed in the year 70 CE, by expanding the horizon of Judaism beyond the space of the temple, making it portable so they could take it with them to places beyond Jerusalem. Sifra, an early midrash on the book of Leviticus from around the 3rd century CE, specifies that what is meant by the practices of the Canaanites, those of the non-Jews in the surrounding culture of Roman times, the theaters, circuses, and sports. The fear is that such interactions with the outside world leads to abandonment. The fear that our Jewish identity is not strong enough to survive exposure to Nathan Lane, football, and fun. However, the writings of our rabbis are not monolithic in this fear of the outside world. The Mishnah recounts a conversation between Rabban Gamliel, one of the foremost rabbis of his generation in the 1st century, and Proclus ben Plaspus, a learned non-Jew. Rabban Gamliel was the leader of the Jews in the province of Palestine at the time, and therefore was required to spend time and energy engaging with the leaders of the non-Jewish authorities. Gamliel and Plaspus are sitting together one day in the bathhouse in Akko. I know it sounds like the beginning of a joke. When Plaspus asks Gamliel, surely it is against your religion to be here, since look over there is a statue of the goddess Aphrodite. Rabban Gamliel's response is, at first, not to respond. He simply says that since this is a discussion of Torah, it is not permitted in the bathhouse, since discussions of Torah are not permitted in such places. Once they have exited the bathhouse, Gamliel explains why it is not a problem for him, and how he justifies entering the bathhouse despite the presence of Aphrodite. He says 2 key things first. First, he argues that the statue of Aphrodite was added to beautify the bathhouse rather than the other way around. Perhaps if the bathhouse had been constructed as a way of worshiping Aphrodite, then he might think differently. But his second and more profound argument is that he is not worried that his Judaism is compromised in any case, for his religious life is not defined by bathing or defecating in front of his God. The unspoken lesson that I take away from the story is that Rabban Gamliel does not feel Judaism has to be protected from the Greco-Roman culture in this way, although there are perhaps other ways in which it needs to be protected. But in this case, it is something he is able to see or touch without being tempted away from Judaism. Similarly, the claim that is made by those who want to closet Judaism away and isolate it from the theaters, circuses, and sports of the outside world do not do so out of arrogance or hostility. They do so because they believe it is the only way in which the distinctness and vitality of Jewish identity can survive. This strategy can have an even more detrimental effect, however, in that it makes religion into a fragile artifact that will shatter upon impact with anything from the outside. A Judaism that engages with the world, which is supple and open to change, has a much better chance of surviving. I don't think this is what Rabbi Gamliel was saying. I actually think he was trying to assert the supremacy of his rabbinic theology over the idol-worshiping Romans. However, what he exemplifies in his argument is a self-confidence we have lost, a confidence that the best of our tradition will not shatter upon impact, that it has the ability to enrich the world outside and to in turn be enriched. We do not strengthen ourselves by hiding away and isolating ourselves. And if we do, we can never be a voice that others will hear. Jews can become a light to the nations only when we make ourselves part of the world to which these nations belong, rather than keeping ourselves at arm's length. Hence the importance of maintaining the multiple circles of concern, our own, that of Judaism, and that of Kol Yoshvei Tevel, all inhabitants of the world, of which we speak in our progressive liturgy. Our world will never truly be in color until we are able to see all of it, until we feel confident enough in our Judaism that we are able to take it with us into the bathhouse or into the theater or into the clamor of the competition of ideas in which we may find ourselves wanting to challenge it. But if we set Judaism up as a delicate thing that will break at the merest touch, then it's probably not worth having except for show. I want a religious life that you can take anywhere, to the highest mountain and to the depths of the ocean, which has the flexibility but also the strength to survive, to be my companion and to protect me, rather than the other way around. As we read in Leviticus 18:5, "V'shmartem et chukotai v'et mishpatai, asher ya'aseh otam ha'adam v'chai bahem, ani Adonai." You shall keep my laws and my statutes, by the pursuit of which humanity shall live. As our Talmud tells us, to live by them, not to die by them. To live an open and expansive life, and not to hide away in fear. Keni Hiratzon, may this be God's will. Next week is our third Friday no-host dinner following Shabbat services. And we're going to Bernie Vietnamese restaurant, which is on Wurzbach, just opposite Gardendale, not too far. I mentioned last week I am having some hand surgery on Monday. I will be unable to play the guitar for a while. If there are any musicians in the congregation who would like to volunteer to help accompany, I would greatly appreciate it. Otherwise, you'll have a cappella for a while. And that's okay too. Pride Month programming will begin on May 15th with a URJ webinar. It was in this week's newsletter at 7 p.m. with the virtual session being an LGBTQ plus ally in challenging times. And the link is in the newsletter, as I said. The Mahjong Club will meet on Sunday, May 18th at 1:30 for Mahjong. On Sunday, June 1st is the Arab Shavuos, the evening of Shavuot, and we're doing a potluck dairy dinner at 6 p.m. It's a tradition to eat dairy on Shavuot, followed by the Shavuot evening service with Yizkor and a Tikkun Leil Shavuot, which is a study session into the evening, featuring the movie A Real Pain. Our annual meeting will be on Sunday, June 8th at 9:15 a.m. We're going to be joining together with the members of House of Prayer for a potluck lunch afterwards. So watch for more information about that. The information about the annual meeting should be in your email boxes already if you have not opened it yet. I think that's it. Any other announcements that I missed? We are going to continue with the concluding portion of our service, beginning with Aleinu L'Shabeach. You will find it on page 282, 586 in the big book.
Oh. Very good.
Oh, please rise. Sorry.
No, your voice is.
Out of it, you know? It's stuffy all week.
2, right? Yes, okay, that's what I thought. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula liotzer breshit, shehu noteh shamayim v'yotzer aretz, u'moshav ikaro b'shamayim imal, u'shkinatu zo b'govei meromim, hu Eloheinu einod, v'anachnu korim, Umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Page 287.
591.
287.
Oh, 591.
There you go. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo
Continue on page 295, 599 in the big book. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. This Shabbat, we remember Melanie Hudson, daughter-in-law of Rod and Cynthia Hudson, Marlene Frevely, best friend of Eileen Callahan, and Vito Frescus, friend of Stan and Wendy Drezek, who are in the period of Shloshim, 30 days past their death. We are also observing the Yahrzeit, the anniversary of their death, of Stuart Cohn, husband of Andrea Cohn, and Shirley Strahl, mother of Andrea Cohn. Are there others for whom we are saying Kaddish or remembering or observing a Yahrzeit? Anybody on Zoom? We remember 10 people who perished in the Holocaust. Chava Shriver, Bernard Glitzman, Henrik Bringbaum, Joseph Hartman, Regina Grunfeld, Antal Strumer, Berik Randowitz, Deborah Weinberger, Malcha Fried, Julia Gonska. Tichonam Livracha, may their memories be for blessing as we turn to the words of the Mourner's Kaddish on page 294, 598.
Yitkadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divrach irutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayi dechol Beit Yisrael, v'hagala v'zman kari v'yimru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah m'varach v'olam v'lovei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitfa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kusha b'richu. La'ela mimkol berchata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechemata. Da'amiran b'yalma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah mim shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Moser shalom b'mamav. V'yaser shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'yimru amen.
May the one who makes peace in the heavens help us to make peace here on earth and send peace to all who are bereaved, as we say.
Amen.
We are going to conclude our service on page 330, 634 in the big book. 330, 634, with Ki Eshmara Shabbat, second up from the bottom.
Ki Yishmerat Shabbat El Yishmereni. Ki Yishmerat Shabbat El Yishmereni. Oti Leomead Beino Beni. Oti Leomead Beino Beni. Ki Yishmerat Shabbat El Yishmereni. Ki Yishmerat Shabbat El Yishmereni. Oti Leomead Beino Beni. Oti Leomead Beino Beni.
Shabbat shalom. And
Shabbat shalom.
Thank you to Maury for leading the singing. Thank you to April for helping with the sound system. Thank you to Adam for helping with Zoom. Have a seat. Who would like to lead us in Kiddush this evening?
I'll do it.
Okay.
Same price, right? I can submit the expense for, right? Okay, just checking. Gabe, you want to hand out the juice and the wine, please? I counted. There should be enough for everybody.
The white is juice, the red is wine, right?
As always, yes.
That's always. No.
In this time, as we know, in 2025, it's been this way. Until, of course, the white grape juice runs out, and then we'll go to
White wine.
white wine, potentially. Yes. See, but the red is easier because it doesn't go bad as quickly as the white, because you have to keep it refrigerated. Once it's open, you know. Yeah. All right, please join me. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei bari hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratza banu v'shabbat kadsho v'yava u'ratzon himchin lanu. Zikaron lemase bereshit, ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh, zecher letziat Mitzrayim, ki banu v'charta v'yotanu kidashta mikol Shabbat kodecha v'yava u'ratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-shabbat. Amen.
L'chaim.
L'chaim. Cheers.
L'chaim and Shabbat Shalom.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam
Hamotzi lechem min haaretz
Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom.
April, can you take us off Zoom, off YouTube?